Picture this, a man in the dust, a defeated general, on the run, literally fleeing for his life on foot.
And then there's her, a victorious woman waiting inside her tent. You've got these two figures, right? And their destinies are about to collide in a huge way.
So what was her weapon of choice? A sword? A spear?
No, get this. It was a simple tent peg and a hammer. How in the world does that happen? Well, that's exactly what we're about to get into.
Today, we are diving deep into the incredible story of the Hammer of Jael, right out of the book of Judges. And trust me, it's a gripping story of tyranny, prophecy, and a hero you would never, ever see coming. So, try to imagine the scene. A huge battle is over, an entire army has just been wiped out, and there's one single fugitive running for his life across the plains, the sound of chaos still ringing in his ears.
And listen, this isn't just any old soldier. This is Sisera, the supreme commander of a ridiculously powerful army. But now, his chariots are nothing but wreckage, his men are gone, and he's abandoned it all, fleeing on foot in total desperation.
He's heading for one specific place, the tent of Jael, who's the wife of Heber the Kenite. Now, why there? Because there's a peace treaty between his king and her family. So in his desperate mind, this tent is the one safe place left on earth. But is it really?
So how did such a powerful commander end up so desperate and alone? Well, to really understand what's at stake here, we need to rewind the clock about 20 years.
For 2 whole decades, the people of Israel had been suffering under a really brutal tyranny. The source text actually says King Jabin mightily oppressed them. I mean, this wasn't just some minor conflict. This was an entire generation defined by suffering. And the source of all this oppressive power? Sisera's army, specifically 900 iron chariots. You gotta understand, this was the most cutting-edge, feared military technology of the age. It was basically the ancient equivalent of a fleet of tanks. They seemed absolutely invincible. In this moment of pure desperation, the people of Israel finally cried out, and in response, a leader emerged from a very, very unlikely place.
Meet Deborah. Now, she wasn't a queen in some palace or a general in a war room. She was a prophetess, a judge who gave out wisdom and divine commands to her people from under a palm tree. A leader in a time when, let's be honest, female leaders were pretty rare. So Deborah gets the command, it's time to go to war. She calls up the military leader, a guy named Barak, and tells him to gather 10,000 men to go up against Sisera. But Barak, he hesitates. He says he'll only go if she, the prophetess, goes into battle with him.
Because of that hesitation, Deborah agrees to go. But she delivers this stunning prophecy. She tells him that the glory, the real honor for taking down the enemy commander Sisera, it's not going to go to the general, Barak. No, it will be given to a woman. And that one detail changes absolutely everything.
And just like that, the stage is set. So let's jump back to the present moment. The defeated Sisera, exhausted and terrified, is stumbling towards Jael's tent. And he has no idea that this prophecy is just hanging over his head.
Jael plays the perfect host. I mean, she welcomes him in, tells him don't be afraid. He asks for a drink of water. She gives him milk, something richer, more likely to knock him out. She covers him with a blanket. And the mighty warrior, finally believing he's safe, just drifts into this deep, heavy, and completely vulnerable sleep. But inside that quiet tent, while the general sleeps, the whole atmosphere shifts. The air gets heavy. This supposed sanctuary is about to become a place of judgment. Jael doesn't reach for a soldier's sword. She doesn't grab a spear. She takes up the tools of her own life, the very tools she uses to build and maintain her home. A heavy hammer and a long, sharp tent peg. The domestic is about to become deadly. She went softly unto him. Can you just imagine that moment? The silence, the intense focus, the absolute lack of hesitation? In one shocking, brutally efficient act, she drives that tent peg right through the tyrant's temple and into the very ground he thought was his safe haven. And just like that, she ends his reign of terror with a single decisive blow. And right as it's done, Barak, the military commander, finally shows up, still hunting for his nemesis. Jael meets him at the entrance of the tent and says, "Come, and I will show you the man you are seeking." He walks in and finds Sisera dead. the prophecy fulfilled in the most astonishing way possible. So, what's the big takeaway from this ancient and, brutal story? Well, it's this powerful reminder that deliverance, that heroes, can emerge from the most unexpected places. It shows that real courage isn't just for soldiers on a battlefield. And sometimes, the simplest tools from our everyday lives can become the instruments of justice.
And it really leaves us with a question to think about. In a world that's full of what seem like insurmountable challenges, where are the unlikely heroes hiding in plain sight today?